You didn't stumble here by mistake. This message was sent to reach you, not through noise, but through the quiet ache you've been carrying. This is not coincidence. This is a return to the voice your soul has longed to hear. There are moments in life when the path behind feels heavy and the road ahead seems uncertain. But in that stillness, a whisper rises, a reminder that you are not alone. The divine has been walking with you all along. Every tear, every prayer, every unspoken longing has been heard. And now the time has come. This is the turning point your soul has been waiting for. Breathe, let go, and step into the light of Krishna's guidance. There comes a time when life feels quieter than usual. Not the kind of quiet that brings peace right away, but a strange, unsettling stillness that makes you wonder if something has shifted beneath the surface. You wake up one morning and realize the things that once thrilled you don't have the same spark. You sit among friends, laughing, yet a part of you feels detached, as if you no longer belong in the same old rhythm. At night, when the noise of the world fades, you hear it more clearly. Not an audible voice, but a pull, a whisper, a gentle nudge that says, "There is more." This is what I call the silent call. It does not announce itself with thunder or lightning. It does not arrive with a crowd cheering you on. It arrives in the quiet spaces of your heart, in the gaps between your thoughts, and though it is silent, it speaks louder than anything else in your life. You may mistake it for restlessness. You may call it boredom. You may even think something is wrong with you. But in truth, nothing is wrong. In truth, everything is right. This is the sign that Krishna is near. When the soul is being stirred, the body and mind often feel unsettled, because you are being pulled out of what is familiar into what is destined. And destiny never feels comfortable at the beginning. The silent call is meant to wake you up. It is meant to remind you that you are more than your routines, more than your job, more than the small identity you have wrapped around yourself. It comes to break the illusion that your life will remain the same forever, because it won't. And deep inside, you know you don't want it to. The silent call says, you were made for more. But here is the challenge. Most people ignore it. They drown it in busyness. They bury it under endless scrolling, constant noise, shallow conversations. They fear what it might demand if they listen. But if you are here, if you are hearing these words now, it means you are not one of those who can ignore it anymore. You've felt the ache long enough. You've carried the questions long enough. And now you are ready to listen. What does the silent call sound like? It sounds like dissatisfaction with things that once excited you. It feels like exhaustion from carrying a life that no longer fits. It looks like being surrounded by people and yet sensing a deep loneliness inside. But instead of running from it, sit with it, honor it, because that discomfort is holy. That emptiness is sacred. It is the space being cleared for something greater to enter. Krishna whispers in stillness because only in stillness do we truly listen. He withdraws the noise, not to punish you, but to help you hear what you've been too distracted to notice. And what is he saying? He is saying, "My beloved, I have not forgotten you. I am closer than your breath. I am preparing something beyond what you can imagine. But to step into it, you must first recognize the call. And when you feel it, that quiet stirring, that unshakable sense that life is about to change, do not dismiss it. Do not label it as anxiety. Do not numb it away. Instead, let it draw you deeper. Let it remind you that the divine is near. The silent call is not just a feeling. It is a doorway. And if you have the courage to walk through it, you will discover that everything you have been searching for is already waiting on the other side. So, pause, breathe, and listen. For the silence you fear is not empty. It is full of Krishna's voice, and he is calling you home. Every soul carries a weight. Some of these weights are visible, like responsibilities, debts, or the constant demands of life. Others are hidden, like unspoken fears, silent disappointments, or the wounds you never let anyone see. You smile in public, but in private, you ache. You laugh with others, but when you are alone, tears fall without permission. This is the burden of being human. And sometimes, it feels unbearable. You wonder if you are the only one struggling. You wonder if everyone else is moving forward while you are stuck, dragging invisible chains. But Krishna sees what no one else does. He sees the heaviness you try to hide. He sees the nights you couldn't sleep because your mind would not stop racing. He sees the mornings when you forced yourself to rise, even though your heart felt too tired to keep going. And he whispers, "I know, I see, and I am here." The weight you carry is not wasted. Even the heaviest stone, when placed in a river, eventually finds a way to move with the current. So too will your burdens. You may think they are crushing you, but in reality, they are shaping you. They are pressing your spirit into strength. They are refining your character into gold. Consider this. A diamond is only created under extreme pressure. The most beautiful light emerges from the deepest darkness, and the soul that shines brightest is the one that has walked through fire and survived. So do not despise the weight you carry. It is not here to destroy you. It is here to prepare you. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it feels unfair. Yes, it makes you question why life seems harder for you than for others, but you are not being punished. You are being prepared. Prepared to carry blessings you could not hold before. Prepared to step into a destiny that requires the strength you are building right now. Krishna does not waste pain. He transforms it. The same wound that once made you cry will one day become the wisdom that helps someone else heal. The same struggle that nearly broke you will one day become the story that inspires another soul not to give up. Your weight is not meaningless. It is sacred. And when you offer it to Him, it is transformed. But here's the truth. You cannot carry it alone. And you were never meant to. You were meant to lay it down, to release it into hands greater than yours. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to fix every broken piece. You only have to trust that the divine knows what to do with it. So the next time you feel the heaviness pressing down, close your eyes. Picture yourself placing it in Krishna's hands. Picture Him lifting it from your shoulders, saying, "Rest, beloved. I will carry this for you." And in that surrender, something shifts. The burden may not disappear immediately, but its weight no longer crushes you. Because now you know you are not alone. Now you know every step you take is supported by a presence greater than you can see. The weight you carry becomes lighter the moment you share it with Him. And in time, you will look back and realize the very things that once felt like chains became the wings that taught you how to rise. So hold on. Don't give up under the pressure, for the pressure is not your end. It is your beginning. Krishna is using it all, every tear, every scar, every moment of struggle, to shape you into who you were always meant to be. And one day soon, you will stand free, not because the weight never existed, but because you learned to carry it with grace, because you learned that you were never carrying it alone. There comes a moment in every journey when you realize you cannot go back. The life you once lived no longer fits. The old patterns, the old roles, the old identity, they feel too small for who you are becoming. It's as if you are standing at a crossroads, one path fading behind you and another glowing faintly ahead. This is what I call the turning point. It is not always dramatic. Sometimes it begins quietly, with the simple awareness that you are different now, that your spirit cannot settle for what it once accepted, that your heart is hungry for something deeper, something truer, something eternal. And though the road ahead is uncertain, you feel a pull that cannot be ignored. Krishna does not force you forward, but He invites you. He whispers, "The time has come. Step into the new." But stepping into the new requires courage. It requires leaving behind the familiar, even if it once felt safe. It requires trusting that what you cannot yet see is more real than what you can. And that is never easy, because the mind loves certainty, but the soul longs for destiny, and destiny rarely looks like certainty. The turning point feels like standing on the edge of a river, knowing you must cross, even though the waters are deep and the current is strong. Your fear says, stay where you are. At least here, you know what to expect. But your spirit says, move, cross, trust. The other side is waiting. This is why so many people miss their turning point. They hear the call but stay frozen in fear. They cling to the old because it is familiar, even though it no longer brings life. They settle for comfort instead of courage. But you are not here to settle. You are here to step forward. And this moment, right now, is proof of it. The very fact that you feel the tension between the old and the new means you are standing at the threshold. And thresholds are sacred, because they are the places where endings become beginnings. Krishna never asks you to leap without preparation. Every delay, every disappointment, every detour that brought you here was shaping you for this very step. Nothing was wasted. Even the pain that nearly broke you has become the foundation beneath your feet. You are stronger than you think. You are braver than you realize. And the turning point is not meant to scare you. It is meant to liberate you. It is the moment when you stop clinging to the old story and allow a new one to be written. It is the moment when you stop asking, why me? And begin declaring, yes, me. Yes, I am ready. Yes, I will trust. Yes, I will step into what has been waiting for me all along. The turning point is where destiny meets decision. Krishna can open the door, but you must walk through it. And the moment you do, everything shifts. The path ahead may not be easy, but it will be holy. Because it is no longer about chasing after what the world calls success. It is about aligning with what your soul calls truth. And when you choose truth, when you choose alignment, when you choose to step into the unknown with faith, you discover the beauty of divine timing. You realize that you were never late. You were never behind. You were always exactly where you needed to be, so that this very turning point could arrive. So if you are standing here now, don't turn back. Don't shrink into the shadows of the old life. Lift your head. Step forward. Trust the light ahead, even if it looks faint. Because what waits on the other side is not just change, it is transformation. And when you look back one day, you will mark this moment as the place where everything shifted. The moment when you chose courage over comfort. The moment when you said yes to your divine turning point. Surrender is one of the most misunderstood words in the spiritual journey. Many think it means defeat, weakness, or giving up. But in truth, surrender is not about losing. It is about gaining everything your soul was made for. Surrender is the act of laying down control in order to step into alignment. It is saying, Krishna, I no longer need to figure out every step. I place my heart in your hands. Lead me. This surrender does not make you smaller. It makes you infinite, because you are no longer limited by your own strength. You are carried by divine strength, and divine strength never fails. Think of a river. When you resist it, you exhaust yourself, thrashing against the current. But when you surrender, you float. The river carries you to places your feet could never walk. That is what surrender to Krishna feels like. It is the moment you stop forcing and start flowing. The moment you stop clinging and start trusting. The moment you stop asking, how will this work? And start whispering, I trust you. And it is in this trust that miracles are born. Because the divine cannot pour into hands that are tightly clenched, but open hands, surrendered hands, can receive blessings too vast to measure. Surrender does not mean life becomes easy. Storms may still come, waves may still rise, but surrender means you are no longer afraid. Because you know who is in the boat with you. You know who calms the waters with a single note from his flute. And you know that no matter how fierce the storm, his presence is stronger still. This gift of surrender is not a one-time act. It is a daily choice. Every morning you rise and whisper, lead me. Every evening you rest and release, I trust you. And little by little, the grip of fear loosens. The weight of anxiety lifts. The ache of control begins to dissolve, and you feel lighter, freer, more alive than ever before. Because surrender is not the end of your will. It is the beginning of divine will flowing through you. It is the place where your small story merges with Krishna's eternal story. And in that union, you discover peace. The peace that does not depend on circumstances. The peace that no loss can steal. The peace that whispers, "You are safe. You are held. You are guided." This peace is the greatest gift surrender brings. But there is another. Surrender reveals who you truly are. When you no longer cling to false identities, masks, and illusions, what remains is pure soul. And in that purity, you meet Krishna face to face. You realize he was never far away. He was always waiting for your yes, always waiting for your surrender, not because he needed control, but because he longed to carry you into your fullness. He longed to see you shine with the light that has always been within you, and he still longs for it now. So let surrender not be your last resort, but your first step. Lay it all down, the fears, the doubts, the heavy burdens you were never meant to carry. Whisper with your whole being, "I am yours." And as you do, notice what happens. The path ahead feels lighter. The colors of the world seem brighter. Even your breath feels freer. Because in surrender, you are no longer fighting life. You are flowing with it. You are no longer lost in confusion. You are walking with divine clarity. And you are no longer alone. You are carried, guided, and held in the arms of love itself. This is the gift of surrender, the treasure that waits for every soul brave enough to release control. And once you taste it, you will never want to go back. Because surrender is not the end. It is the beginning of everything. Transformation does not arrive like thunder. It comes like dawn, slow at first, soft and gentle, almost unnoticeable. But then, light spreads across the sky, chasing away the shadows. And before you know it, a new day has begun. That is what happens when Krishna begins his work in you. It is not forced. It is not rushed. It is not a performance you must perfect. It is a natural unfolding, like a lotus opening to the morning sun. Every petal of your being responds to his presence. Every layer of your soul turns toward his light. And as you open, you realize the old self is fading. The one bound by fear, control, and doubt is dissolving. And in its place, a truer self is rising. A self anchored in peace. A self alive with joy. A self radiant with love that cannot be shaken. This is transformation. It is not about becoming someone new. It is about remembering who you have always been. A soul connected to the eternal. A spirit made in the image of divine beauty. A being chosen, cherished, and guided by Krishna himself. As you walk this path, people around you begin to notice. Not because you are louder, but because you are lighter. Not because you strive to impress, but because you shine without effort. It is the glow of someone who has touched eternity. The radiance of a heart carried by divine hands. And this radiance becomes your gift to the world. You no longer move only for yourself. You move as a vessel of grace. Your words carry comfort. Your presence carries peace. Your silence carries healing. Because Krishna is alive in you. And where he is, light flows. This transformation does not mean you will never stumble. It does not mean you will never feel sorrow. But it does mean sorrow will not drown you. It does mean failure will not define you. It does mean shadows will never overcome the light within you. Because once dawn has broken, the night cannot return. Even when clouds cover the sky, the sun still shines beyond them. Even when storms rage, the day cannot be undone. So it is with your soul. Once Krishna has touched your heart, there is no going back. The river of grace keeps flowing. The fire of love keeps burning. The song of his flute keeps calling, and you keep walking, step by step, into fullness. This fullness is not something far away. It begins now, in this breath, in this moment, with every choice to trust, with every whisper of surrender, with every heartbeat that says, "Yes, I am yours." And each yes builds into a symphony, a song of devotion rising from your life to the heavens, a song that heaven answers with blessings overflowing. This is transformation. This is the dawn breaking within you, the light that no darkness can overcome, the peace that no storm can steal, the joy that no circumstance can silence, and the love that carries you always. So step forward. Do not fear the path ahead. Do not cling to the past behind. The shadows may whisper, but the dawn is stronger. The doubts may return, but faith is louder. The night may try to linger, but the sun will always rise. Because your life is not random. It is written. It is guided. It is transformed by hands that form the stars. And those same hands now hold you, always, forever, in love that never ends. This is your dawn. This is your transformation. And this is only the beginning. And so, beloved soul, you did not stumble here by mistake. This entire journey, from silence to whisper to awakening to surrender to transformation, has been written for you, not as a coincidence, but as a calling. Krishna has walked beside you in every word, every breath, every pause. He has been waiting, not for your perfection, but for your openness, waiting not for your strength, but for your surrender. And now you are here, held, guided, embraced in love that cannot end. So take this message with you. Carry it into your days. Let it echo in your choices. Let it steady your steps. Let it remind you again and again that you are never alone. Because every sunrise whispers his promise, every breeze carries his presence, and every heartbeat repeats his truth. You are mine, you are loved, and I will never let you go. This is your reminder. This is your return. And this is your beginning.